the 71 area is where they hit the bid. We're going to get short here at the 71 and a quarter. We're going to take the 71 and a quarters. Short too, 71 and a quarter. And this is the I period. 10 minutes to the opening of the J period. We're going to try to, this is where the E period selling tail challenged the G period low. There was a block of initiative selling right in this area. Now this is contrary, this trade is contrary to the overall trend, and that's a problem. So we're not going to carry this trade above 71 and a quarter. We're looking for our exit here at 70. I want 70 for our point and a quarter. And if it gets above this high at 72, we're going to be out of the market. I'm not taking this position up 3/4 of a point. Alright, we're out of the market at 72 for a loss. That was a trend, a contrary trade. Contrary to the trend trade. I was really not wholly excited about selling the period high here. That was a mistake. We took action to mitigate it. I much would have rather held on to the long that we had, that we exited at the 67.75s. See, we're already about 4 points above that, and we didn't optimize that. That's something we'll look at in the future months. Maybe February, maybe March. We'll put a goal to try to realize a further profit target. Maybe we'll bump that up a few points, and you know, we'll try to make a comparative analysis from month to month with our Tempest trading analyzer, and should be an interesting exercise. Now the thing here is, you know, so far the structure of the day has been higher highs, higher lows, a little bit of a pullback in the G period and H period, and now we're rallying in the E period selling tail above the F period high. And we tried to get a little short trade, didn't work out there when we bumped up above the E period high. We dumped the contracts 72 for a few tick loss. We would have had to get filled at 70 before we put our break-even stop in. That hasn't occurred yet, but we didn't want to carry anything up with us if in fact the I period leading into the J period was the period that continued making higher highs and higher lows. We find ourselves on the wrong side of the market and quickly be underwater, and that's no good. I'd rather take the small loss. So we're going to pause the video and see if we can get a pullback here. Well, this far interesting. I call the 71 area, recognizing the transition from ask activity to bid activity right there at the 71.50s, where we actually got short. 71.25 was a correct turning point for the intraday I period, and that trade not only would have got the first point and a quarter, but our target on that trade would have been 66, which we didn't get quite down to, but might very well have been gotten filled, and that would have been a nice trade, a 6.25 point trade, compared to, you know, losing 3/4 of a point on 2 contracts. So anyway, that was interesting. We worked against our intuition maybe a little bit there, you know. Yeah, that's interesting. We certainly had in our mind, you know, the loss. We didn't want to get caught quickly on the wrong side of an uptrending market. We've been looking for a retracement entry. We might actually have one here. So we're going to pause, and I think we did the right thing, even though we potentially gave up, you know, some points there. The J period just opened up, so we're going to see if we can find a long position here somewhere. We're going to initiate a long position here. You see a line of trade. We're going to take the 68.5s. Long too, 68.5. We'll look to better this position in the J period down near the I period lows and the 64s if we did get in a little early. this is the side of the market we want to be on. We only had a retracement down to the 57s. We were long, of course, lower than an earlier trade, but we'll try to catch any afternoon rally here. All right, we need a 70 and a quarter fill to get filled at 70 for our first point and a quarter, and then we'll let our second contract ride till the close. Tried that the other day and it didn't work, but we're going to try it again, I think. All right, there's our 70 and a quarter fill. We'll put our break-even stop in at 68.50. Well, they took us out at 68.50 on the stop. We'll look for a re-entry here. We're looking here. Let's take the 68s long 2 at 68. Got a little bit better price than the last time. See that 1193 there. Came back down and tested it with just 100. So as long as we don't build a whole lot of volume, we should be good with the long 68s. We're trying to hold on here to our 68s that are underwater. We anticipate a conversion of those initiative shorts yesterday in the 67 to 71 area. We've consolidated around here with two-sided trade from the EF, GH, IJ period. So with the structure of the market with higher highs and higher lows after the consolidation period and the J period just opening them up, I would assume that the probability is the J period now is putting in its lows here and getting ready to rally into the afternoon session. So our 68s I think are a really good position here if we could just hold on, and maybe even better to position a little bit. Okay, after suffering through there in the 67s, we achieved our target at 69 and a quarter for our first contract, and we'll let our second contract ride to the close. If we can break above the I period high in the 72 and a quarter area, then our prognostication of having put the J period low in when we took our 68 long will have been a correct assessment, and that's good. We'll see if we can maximize this trade to close out January, leading into a new month in which we'll implement a refinement of strategy. Hey, we're on the right side of the J period. Now we need to make it over the E period high. It would be nice to get to 80. Well, I liquidate this trade at 80. That would be the largest winning trade on a single contract that I ever was able to bag. That would be a wonderful thing. Right now our target's still closed. Our stop is at 68, which is break even, 6 points below us. It's probably too much. But if I move it up to 71, then I'll probably get, market will take it down to 71 on an intraday rotation and then off to the mid-80s. So we're going to leave it at 68. Well, patiently trying to wait here, we went all the way to the 69s. Remember, our stop's at 68. So we're going to stay with it here. If you were just looking at the data, I actually was up feeding the cat, but there was a cross trade in the 14-18 column from 1,300 to 1,000, 1,700 on the ask to 800 on the bid. That was a capping action, because last time it came up, 4 minutes later, there was only 600 at each location, and it was all down from there. It went from the 74s down to the 69 and changes. So we need to get past that 74 area. We're going to bounce probably between the 69s and the 74s. K period just opened up, but we're going to stay with it. J period made a higher high and a higher low, so we should be able to get K period to continue. Being patient here in the K period hasn't paid off. I missed where the K period tested a J period high. Oh, there it is, 74, 75, 17 contracts. Couldn't get past it. That was probably the mark to get rid of this position we're in. I'm going to stand by here for a minute though. Our stop's 68, never tick down there. We're going to take the 70s and salvage a little bit of this trade, and then we'll come back and comment just a bit. We're out at 70. Well, being patient didn't work. We did see the opportunity to get out though if we would have wanted to. Up at the J period high, that cross trade at 74, 75 was it. That was too much for K to overpower. So we'll have to see if K retraces below the J period low. It doesn't negate the entire day trend. we'll revisit and see if we can't get a position long somewhere lower than here.